Hey everyone, and welcome to our deep dive into the world of intelligent document processing, or IDP, as I'm sure you've heard it called. I'm excited to really dig in and see what all the buzz is about, and more importantly, how it can impact all of us. I mean, let's be honest, who hasn't felt that overwhelming feeling of just drowning in documents, emails, contracts, invoices, reports? They never seem to end, right?
Oh, absolutely. I've seen it firsthand, businesses struggling to keep up with the sheer volume of paperwork. And it's a problem that just keeps growing.
Yeah, it feels like every day there's more and more to process. So that's where this IDP comes in, right? I've heard it described as like a superpowered assistant, but for documents, using AI and all sorts of other cool tech to automate everything.
That's a pretty good analogy. IDP can definitely feel like having a tireless digital helper.
Okay, so before we get too far ahead of ourselves, can you actually just brief it down for us? What exactly is IDP?
At its core, IDP is a combination of technologies, primarily artificial intelligence or AI, and good old optical character recognition, OCR.
OCR, like what scanners used, right?
Yeah. Exactly. But it's OCR on steroids, powered by AI. Basically, IDP uses these technologies to understand and process all sorts of documents automatically.
So no matter what kind of document I throw at it, IDP can handle it. Sounds almost too good to be true.
Well, it's definitely not magic, but it can handle a pretty impressive range of document types. Whether it's a perfectly formatted spreadsheet, a scanned PDF, or even a handwritten note.
Wait, handwritten stuff too? Seriously?
You'd be surprised what IDP can decipher these days. It's like having a multilingual assistant that can read and understand information from pretty much any source.
Okay, now that's impressive. So we've got all these documents, and IDP can read them all. But how does it actually know what to do with them?
Yeah.
There has to be some kind of system, right?
There is. It's called the IDP workflow. It's a step-by-step process that each document goes through, kind of like a journey from raw data to useful, actionable information.
A document's journey, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm intrigued. So where does this journey begin?
The first step is classification. Think of it like IDP sorting your mail. Is it a bill, a letter, a postcard?
Got it. So IDP figures out what type of document it's dealing with. Why is that so important?
Because how IDP handles a document depends on what it is. It needs to know what it's looking at before it can take further action.
Makes sense. What's the next stop on this document journey?
Step 2 is extraction. Here's where the OCR we talked about comes in. It's like IDP is meticulously scanning the document and pulling out all the important details, things like names, dates, amounts, key terms, you name it. Anything that matters.
Okay, so it's not just reading, it's actually understanding what to look for and grabbing the good stuff.
Exactly. Think of it as a detective gathering clues from a crime scene, except in this case, the crime scene is a document and the clues are data.
All right, so it's classified the document, it's extracted the key information. How does IDP know if it's gotten things right? Does it just assume it's perfect?
Not at all. Step 3 is validation. IDP actually double-checks its work to make sure the extracted data is accurate.
So, like a built-in quality control system.
Exactly. It's a really important step because we want to make sure the data we're working with is reliable.
I would imagine so. But what if the data is correct, but still needs some context to be truly useful? Like what if it's missing a piece of the puzzle?
That's where the magic of enrichment comes in step number 4. And this is where IDP goes above and beyond.
Above and beyond how?
Well, it doesn't just extract data, it actually ADDS value by connecting to other sources. Let's say you're processing a customer's order. IDP might grab their name and purchase history, but then it can go further. It can connect to external databases, maybe pull in their social media activity or product reviews.
So it's adding layers of information to create a more complete picture.
Precisely. And that can be incredibly valuable for businesses.
Okay, I'm seeing how powerful this can be.
Hmm?
But even with all this automation, isn't there always a chance for error? Especially when you're dealing with complex information.
You're right. There are situations where a human touch is still critical. And that brings us to step 5, verification.
So even in this high-tech world, humans still have a role to play.
Absolutely. Especially in fields like finance or healthcare where accuracy is paramount, human experts need to be involved to double-check the data and ensure everything's correct and compliant. It's all about that balance between human intelligence and artificial intelligence.
Makes sense. So we've classified, extracted, validated, enriched, and verified. What happens to all this precious data now?
The final step is integration. This is where we seamlessly plug that process data into other systems the business uses, like databases, CRM systems, or any software that needs that information.
So it's like IDP is the ultimate team player, making sure the right information gets to the right place at the right time.
Exactly. And that's what makes it so powerful for businesses. It's not just about processing documents, it's about making that data work for you.
This whole workflow is pretty impressive. But before we go any further, I'm curious about what types of documents and formats IDP can actually handle. I mean, can it really tackle anything?
IDP is incredibly flexible. Remember how we talked about structured and unstructured data? Well, IDP can handle both. We're talking spreadsheets and emails, PDFs, images, even those handwritten notes we talked about earlier.
Hold on, you're saying it can actually decipher my doctor's handwriting. Now that's some next level stuff right there. Okay, you've convinced me on the what, but now I want to talk about the why. What are the real tangible benefits of implementing IDP? What's in it for businesses? And more importantly, what's in it for me?
Now we're getting to the good stuff. This is where IDP really shines. I mean, think about it. All those tasks that take up so much of your time, all those repetitive manual processes, IDP can automate all of that. It frees up your valuable time so you can focus on things that are actually, well, interesting.
So instead of drowning in paperwork, it could be, I don't know, brainstorming new ideas, come out with solutions, maybe even taking an actual lunch break. Now you're talking. What else?
And because of all those validation steps we talked about, you also get a huge boost in accuracy.
Fewer errors, that's always a good thing.
Exactly. It means less time fixing mistakes and more reliable data overall. And let's not forget about scalability. IDP can handle a truly massive amount of documents, and as your company grows, IDP can keep up.
That's a huge plus. But it sounds like the benefits go beyond just time and cost savings, right? What about the insights IDP can unlock?
That's a great point. One of the most exciting things about IDP is its ability to help you understand your data on a deeper level. Think back to that enrichment step. All that extra context IDP pulls in can be incredibly valuable. It's like having a data analyst built right into your document processing system.
So IDP isn't just about doing things faster, it's about doing them smarter, too. I like that. But let's be realistic, all this technology can't be cheap.
That's a common misconception. While there is an initial investment, in the long run, IDP actually leads to significant cost reduction. Think about it. Less manual labor, fewer errors, streamlined processes, it all adds up.
So it's not just a cost, it's an investment that can actually help the bottom line. This has been a really fascinating look at IDP so far.
We've just scratched the surface. There's so much more to discover.
Well, before we move on, I'm curious, what stood out to you as the most interesting or surprising thing about IDP?
You know, for me, it's the way IDP combines cutting-edge technology with human expertise. It's not about replacing humans, it's about empowering them, giving them the tools to work smarter and focus on what they do best.
Yeah, that's a great point. It's like IDP takes care of all the boring, repetitive stuff so humans can focus on the things that actually require a human brain. You know, creativity, problem solving, all that good stuff.
Sure.
I'm definitely eager to explore that human element further in our next segment.
Absolutely. There's so much more to uncover, real-world applications, the exciting future of IDP, and much more.
Well, folks, if you're as intrigued by IDP as I am, you won't want to miss the rest of this deep dive. Stay tuned. Welcome back to our deep dive into IDP.
We've got a lot more to cover today.
Yeah, last time we were talking about how IDP isn't so much about replacing human jobs, it's more about giving us, like, superpowers, you know?
Exactly. It's about making us more efficient, freeing us up to do what we do best.
So instead of, like, being buried under a mountain of invoices, I could be using my brain for things that actually, like, require a brain.
Precisely. And we're already seeing this play out in several industries.
Oh, yeah. Give me some examples. Like, how is this actually being used in the real world?
Well, let's start with finance. Banks and insurance companies are using IDP to automate things like loan processing and claims management, even fraud detection.
That sounds like a huge win for everyone involved. Faster approvals, quicker claims processing. Who wouldn't want that?
Right. And it's not just about speed. Accuracy and efficiency are also key. IDP can analyze these huge amounts of data, assess risk, flag potential issues, all things that would take humans forever to do manually.
So it's like having this army of digital assistants working behind the scenes, making sure everything's running smoothly.
That's a great way to think about it. And it's not just limited to finance either.
Oh, who else is using this?
Well, healthcare, for example. IDP is being used to process patient records, manage medical billing, and it can even help with diagnosis.
Whoa, hold on. So IDP is actually Improving patient care, A&D, making healthcare more efficient. That's incredible.
Absolutely. Imagine a system that can quickly analyze medical images, look for patterns, alert doctors to things they might have missed. It has the potential to, like, revolutionize healthcare as we know it.
Wow, okay. I'm starting to see how big this really is. Any other examples? I'm kind of hooked now.
Of course. Another great example is the legal field. IDP is being used to streamline things like contract review, legal research, due diligence processes.
So lawyers can spend less time buried in paperwork and more time actually, like, strategizing with their clients.
Exactly. It's all about making those processes more efficient and effective.
Okay, this is all very impressive, but like with any technology, I think it's important to be aware of the potential downsides too.
Oh, definitely. We need to be mindful of how this technology is implemented.
Yeah, I'm thinking about things like job security, for example. If IDP is automating so many tasks, are people going to lose their jobs?
That's a valid concern, but I see it a little differently. I think IDP isn't necessarily about replacing jobs, it's about transforming them.
Transforming them how?
Well, instead of doing all the routine tasks, IDP can free up human workers to focus on more creative, strategic, and interpersonal aspects of their jobs. The things that, robots can't do.
So it's not just about efficiency, it's about making work more meaningful for humans too.
That's a great way to put it. This collaboration between humans and machines really does have the potential to unlock, new levels of productivity and innovation, and hopefully job satisfaction as well.
It's kind of exciting to think about a workplace where people can actually use their, unique skills and talents instead of being stuck doing all the boring paperwork.
That's the goal. But to get there, we need to be proactive about preparing the workforce for these changes.
Yeah, you're right. What kind of skills will people need to be successful in this new world of IDP?
Well, as IDP takes over those more routine tasks, things like critical thinking and problem-solving skills become even more important.
I can definitely see that. Anything else?
Creativity will also be key, along with emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
The ability to communicate effectively and build strong relationships. Those are the skills that are going to be in high demand.
It's not just about being tech savvy. It's about those human skills that are hard to automate.
Exactly. And this means we need to rethink education and training to make sure people are equipped for this new world of work.
So it's not just about learning how to use specific software or tools. It's about developing those core skills that will always be valuable.
Precisely. Lifelong learning and adaptability will be key. The world is changing rapidly, and we need to be prepared to learn and adapt along with it.
This all sounds like a pretty big shift for both, individuals and organizations.
It is, but it's a shift that has the potential to create a much more fulfilling and rewarding work experience for everyone.
You've definitely given me a lot to think about. I'm starting to see IDP less as a threat and more as an opportunity for, growth and innovation.
That's great. It's all about embracing those opportunities and being proactive about preparing for the future. So, where do you think IDP is headed next?
That's a great question. What does the future hold for IDP? What can we expect in the coming years?
Oh, it's going to be exciting. As AI and machine learning continue to develop, IDP is only going to get smarter and more sophisticated. We'll likely see even greater accuracy and more advanced capabilities.
So even better at understanding those complex documents.
Absolutely. And another exciting trend is the integration of IDP with other technologies like robotic process automation or RPA.
What is RPA?
Basically, it's the ability to automate entire business processes from start to finish. Imagine, the ultimate efficiency.
Wow, that's a game changer. Anything else? What else is on the horizon for IDP?
Well, cloud-based solutions are making IDP more accessible and affordable for companies of all sizes, which is great.
So even small businesses can benefit from this technology.
Exactly. And as IDP becomes even more integrated into our lives, I think we'll start to see its impact extend beyond just the business world. We're talking about, everything from healthcare and education to even government and social services.
It's amazing to think about how IDP could shape not just the way we work, but the way we live our lives.
The possibilities are really endless. I'm excited to see what the future holds.
This has been a really fascinating journey into the world of IDP. We've seen how it's already being used, talked about its potential impact, and even gotten a glimpse of what's to come.
It's clear that IDP is a technology with a lot of potential, and I think it's important for everyone to understand how it works and what it means for the future.
Absolutely. Before we move on to the final part of our deep dive, do you have any advice for our listeners who might be thinking about implementing IDP in their own organizations? What should they keep in mind?
Well, the most important thing is to start with a clear understanding of your needs and challenges. Like, what are you hoping to achieve with IDP? Where can it make the biggest difference in your organization?
So don't just jump on the bandwagon without a plan.
Exactly. You need a strategic approach. And it's also crucial to choose the right IDP solution for your specific needs. Do your research, consider your budget, and, your technical capabilities. Not all IDP solutions are created equal.
That's good advice. Anything else?
Don't underestimate the importance of training and change management. Implementing IDP successfully means getting everyone on board and making sure your employees are comfortable with the new systems and processes.
It's about the people, not just the technology.
Exactly. Invest in training and support, and you'll be much more likely to see the real benefits of IDP.
This has been incredibly informative. We've learned so much about IDP, from the technical details to the bigger picture impact on the future of work.
I hope our listeners are walking away with a better understanding of what IDP is, how it works, and why it matters.
Definitely. But before we wrap up this episode, we have one final segment that I think will really resonate with our listeners. Stay tuned as we delve into the fascinating intersection of IDP and the future of work itself. Welcome back to our final look into the world of IDP.
It's been quite a journey.
It really has. Last time, we talked about how IDP is already being used in so many industries, transforming those workplaces.
And how it has the potential to impact the workforce as a whole.
Exactly. So now I think it's time to really zoom out and look at the big picture. Like, what does the rise of IDP really mean for the future of work?
That's a question a lot of people are asking. When we talk about IDP, we're actually talking about a much broader shift that's happening.
What do you mean?
Well, it's all part of this growing trend of automation and AI technology really becoming integrated into almost every aspect of what we do.
Yeah, but I think sometimes when people hear automation, they immediately think, oh no, robots are taking over. Are you saying that IDP is actually creating opportunities?
Absolutely. I think it's less about replacing humans and more about, enhancing what humans can do. Like, think about all those repetitive, rule-based tasks that we do. Those are things that IDP can take care of, freeing up human workers to focus on more, interesting and challenging work.
So instead of spending hours entering data into a spreadsheet, I could be, coming up with new ideas, solving problems, things that actually use my brain.
Exactly. And when humans can focus on those higher level tasks, that's when we really start to see innovation and progress happen.
Right. It's like IDP handles the boring stuff and humans get to do what humans do best. But okay, let's be real. If work is changing like this, doesn't that mean how we prepare for work needs to change too?
You're absolutely right. The skills that are going to be in demand in the future are evolving.
So what kind of skills should people be learning now to be ready for this new, IDP-powered world?
Well, as IDP and other technologies take over those routine tasks, the things that really set humans apart become even more important. So critical thinking, problem solving, creativity, those are the skills that are really going to be in demand.
And I guess, being able to adapt to new technologies is going to be key too, right? Like learning how to work alongside these AI systems.
Definitely. Adaptability and lifelong learning are going to be essential.
So it's not just about going to school and getting a degree. It's about constantly learning and evolving throughout your career.
That's the future of work, really. It's not a destination, it's a journey.
I love that. So where do we go from here? How do we actually start preparing for these changes?
Well, I think it starts with education. We need to be teaching these essential skills. Critical thinking, creativity, adaptability, not just in schools, but also in workplaces. Companies need to be investing in training programs that help their employees develop these skills.
So it's a collective effort. We all have a role to play in shaping the future of work.
Exactly. It's not about, fearing technology or trying to resist change. It's about embracing the possibilities and working together to create a future where technology empowers us all.
That's a great message. This whole conversation has been so insightful. I feel like I have a much better understanding of IDP now, not just what it is, but also what it means for all of us.
I'm glad to hear that. It's definitely a technology that has the potential to transform how we work and live.
Absolutely. Well, folks, that's all the time we have for today. A huge thank you to our expert for taking us on this deep dive into the world of IDP.
It's been my pleasure.
And to all of you listening, thank you for joining us. We hope you found this journey as fascinating as we did. Remember, the future of work is in our hands. Let's keep exploring, keep learning, and who knows, maybe we'll all have IDP superpowers someday.